The woman who smiled at you yesterday carries a secret message: you were never meant to survive this month. Archangel Michael says the air shifted the moment she passed you on the street, as if fate itself held its breath. Your heart thudded against your ribs, echoing a warning you could not yet understand. Shadows lengthened around her smile, hiding truths that clawed at the edges of reality. The world seemed to tilt when her eyes met yours, as though time hesitated before plunging you into a storm. Every footstep she took reverberated with unseen purpose, sending tremors through your soul. The wind carried her laughter like a distant bell tolling doom. She vanished into the crowd, but her message lingered in your bones, a riddle etched in blood and fire. Each heartbeat grew heavier, dragging you closer to a verdict written far beyond mortal courts. You sensed the calendar pages burning before they could be turned. Your nights now teem with whispers that snake around your mind, weaving nightmares too vivid to ignore. The moon's silver light feels like a blade against your skin, slicing through illusions. Destiny's hand presses upon your shoulder, unyielding and cold. A tremor seized your spine as you recalled her final glance, an invitation into darkness. It spoke of endings drawn with ink of despair, and hope writhed in the margins, pleading for release. You will see horrors that will etch themselves into your memory forever. At dawn, your reflection in the mirror recoiled as if in terror, the eyes staring back at you grown hollow. Every breath tastes of distant ash and regret. The unseen thread binding your life frays at an alarmingly rapid pace. You search for meaning in mundane routines but find only echoes of her smile twisting through empty rooms. The coffee's warmth fails to soothe the chill infecting your chest. Silence reigns where laughter once lived, and shadows claim every corner. Footsteps echo behind you in deserted hallways, urging you onward into corridors of dread. Doors creak open to reveal corridors lined with specters of your past. Each apparition carries its own secret, beckoning you deeper into oblivion. A single candle flickers in the gloom of your apartment, trembling as though fearful of its own flame. You reach for it, fingers brushing wax and wick like a lifeline. But light offers little guidance when darkness knows your name. Your phone screen glows with a message you never sent, words scrawled in a trembling script: "They're coming." The letters burn with urgency, yet the sender remains anonymous. Terror coils in your stomach like a living thing. Outside, the sky weeps acid rain that hisses against concrete, washing away evidence of innocence. No shelter can shield you from truths that seep through cracks in reality. Your fate is a tapestry woven from threads of dread. A sudden knock rattles your front door, each rap a thunderclap in your skull. You dare not answer, but the silence that follows speaks of things far worse waiting beyond. Survival demands you face what you fear most. In the street below, flickering headlights carve monsters from ordinary cars. You peer from the window, heart pounding, as faceless figures drift through the rain. Their purpose is clear: claim what was never meant to live. Your pulse races as you descend the stairwell, each step a battle against paralyzing dread. The door at the bottom stands ajar, a yawning maw inviting you into the unknown. There is no turning back. Cold metal slides into your hand, an object you barely recognize, yet instinct tells you it holds power over life and death. Your reflection in the blade is a stranger's, eyes wide with terror and determination. Destiny demands a choice. A whisper curls around your ear, her voice soft as silk and sharp as glass. It promises secrets spilled in crimson tide and mercy withheld until the final breath. You tremble, knowing she holds every card in this lethal game. Lightning cracks the sky, illuminating a world on the brink of collapse. Rain hammers the pavement as if the heavens themselves seek to drown your fear. There is beauty in the chaos, a terrible grace. You clutch the blade as tremors surge through your limbs, each heartbeat a war cry. Fear melts into resolve as you steel yourself for what comes next. The world watches and waits, poised on the edge of your decision. A distant siren wails, heralding a reckoning you can no longer deny. Every second ticks you closer to a moment of truth cloaked in crimson light. Survival hangs by the thinnest of threads. Doors slam shut around you, echoing through empty halls like thunder. Footsteps converge from every direction, heartbeat drums announcing their approach. You stand alone against a tide of darkness. A flicker of steel catches your eye, a weapon drawn by a shadow that was once human. Recognition curdles your blood as you realize you face someone you once called friend. Betrayal tastes like iron on your tongue. The world tilts once more as realities merge and fracture in blinding light. Pain blooms in your chest, a white-hot seed unfurling its petals. The secret she carried blooms at last. Archangel Michael says the end is written in your trembling fist and the echo of her smile. You were never meant to survive this month, but fate's cruel script can be rewritten in blood and courage. Strike true, or succumb to the shadows she commands. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Rain hammers the windows as you make your choice, the blade's edge whispering promises of oblivion. Every nerve screams in protest, yet purpose drives your hand. The final act unfolds in a burst of furious clarity. Her silhouette emerges from the downpour, cloak drenched and eyes glowing with otherworldly fire. She raises a hand, palm open, offering both a gift and a curse. Survival demands you snatch it. Lightning fractures the sky again, casting stark relief on her cold smile. You lunge forward as thunder rolls a warning across the heavens. The world awaits your verdict. Archangel Michael says courage is not absence of fear but action in spite of it. You tighten your grip and leap into the storm. Destiny awaits on the other side of despair. Type Amen to get blessing 444. The blade finds its mark with a sound like shattering glass, echoing through the torrid night. She staggers back, secret message spilling from her veins in shimmering symbols. The air crackles with raw magic and doomed mercy. Darkness recoils at the sight of truth, tendrils of fate unravel in her wake. You stand amid the ruin of lies, chest heaving with newfound strength. Survival is yours, but at a price no soul can measure. Her final breath hisses through broken lips, a curse turned prayer. You watch the message fade into nothingness, understanding at last the cost of the secret she bore. Your life is spared, but your innocence is lost forever. Type Amen to get blessing 555. Silence descends like a shroud as rain cleanses the battleground of blood and memory. The world holds its breath, waiting for dawn that may never come. You are alive, and that is both gift and burden. The street where the confrontation ended is now cordoned off by invisible forces. The very ground you stand on hums with energy left behind from an ancient war you were never supposed to be a part of. And yet, you emerged, bruised, bloodied, changed. You return home, but nothing feels the same. The air is heavier, as if unseen watchers still linger in the corners of your life. The walls whisper in voices only your soul understands now. Clothes soaked and spirit weary, you collapse into a chair that once brought comfort. But your heart won't rest, because her message wasn't just a threat, it was a prophecy. A timeline had been carved for your end, and you just derailed it. Archangel Michael says when fate is rewritten, the balance trembles. You've broken through what they set against you, but the cost has awakened forces even darker. Now they know you're no longer blind. Type Amen to get blessing 777. You close your eyes, but sleep won't come. Instead, visions crash through your thoughts, symbols, sigils, places you've never been yet somehow recognize. She left behind a fragment of herself in you. You wake to find markings on your arm you don't remember getting. They're not bruises, nor tattoos, but radiant pulses under your skin. A code etched in light, a map only few can decipher. It glows stronger near certain objects, your mirror, an old locked box under your bed, a letter you never dared open. The moment you touch them, your room swirls with energy. It's time to unlock what was sealed. The letter falls open by itself, parchment aged and ink faded. But one sentence is fresh, as if written moments ago. She was the messenger. You were the target. Now, you are the key. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Suddenly, you understand, her smile wasn't a trap. It was a warning disguised as warmth. She wasn't the enemy, she was trying to reach you before it was too late. She disobeyed orders by smiling at you. That was her rebellion, her way of signaling without being seen. A message passed in seconds, but meant to last a lifetime. Now her life is likely over because of what she did. Because she tried to save you when others had already decided your end. And you must honor that risk with action. Your name is being whispered in realms you've never heard of. Higher councils are debating your future. You were supposed to be forgotten, but now you've become the center of a war. Type Amen to get blessing 999. You leave your house as instructed in the symbols. The wind guides you. Every light flickers as you pass, every animal freezes to observe. Nature knows who walks among them now. You reach the riverbank, the one from your dreams. Moonlight catches on the water like glass. There, in the wet sand, rests a pendant, hers. You pick it up, and it burns, not with pain, but with knowledge. Visions flood you, a secret society, cloaked in shadows, watching the world, deciding who lives, who fades. You see their faces, including one that chills you, someone you trusted. Archangel Michael says betrayal always hides closest. What you just saw was no illusion. They smiled at you too. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. A name echoes in your ears. One you haven't thought of in years. An old teacher, a relative, a friend long vanished. They were always connected to this. You recall moments, strange phrases they spoke when you were young. References that now make sense. You weren't just another person in the world. You were a mark, born under a forbidden alignment. The pendant begins to glow and pulls you toward an abandoned building near the woods. Each step you take is heavier than the last. This place has memories, it remembers her. The door swings open by itself. Inside, dozens of candles are lit, forming symbols only the marked can read. On the wall, your photo is pinned. Beneath it, subject survived. Protocol broken. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. Your breath catches as footsteps sound behind you. You whirl around, but no one is there. Yet the pendant grows hot, guiding you to a hidden panel behind the wall. Inside the compartment is a box sealed with wax and a crimson thread. You hesitate. But you know what must be done. You snap the seal. Inside lies a letter addressed to your name, dated long before you were even born. You will read this when you're ready, it says. And when you do, they will come for you again. Archangel Michael says destiny delayed is still destiny. The woman knew this day would come. That's why she dared to smile. Type Amen to get blessing 1444. The letter reveals instructions, a place, a time, a ritual only you can complete. You follow it, despite the fear clawing at your mind. You have no choice now. Under the blood moon, you draw the circle as shown. You chant words your tongue should not remember but does. The night itself bends around your voice. A portal flickers to life, revealing a version of yourself you do not recognize, stronger, scarred, armored in light. They look at you with urgency. You weren't supposed to survive, they say. But now you must lead. Lightning splits the sky. Time collapses. And everything turns white. You awaken on the floor, the circle still glowing faintly beneath your limbs. But something is different now. The markings on your arm pulse in sync with your heartbeat. Outside, the world hasn't changed, but you have. The veil that once separated truth from illusion has lifted. You now see what others don't. They are everywhere, lurking in crowds, standing behind glass, slipping between shadows. The ones who crafted your death were never strangers. They are stitched into your everyday life. Archangel Michael says you must be wise, for deception wears familiar faces. The moment you believe you are safe is the moment they strike again. Do not fall asleep under their lullabies. Type Amen to get blessing 1515. You move through the city like a ghost, watching, listening, learning. The pendant around your neck grows heavier with each hour. Its energy warns you when danger nears. You find an old journal hidden in the attic of a burned-down building. It belongs to her, the woman who smiled. Pages torn, ink smudged, yet one entry remains readable. I couldn't let them take you. You were meant to die before the 15th. I altered the timeline. If you're reading this, it worked, but now they'll come after you both. You clutched the journal to your chest, eyes stinging with tears. She sacrificed everything. Not for glory, but for the chance that you might still breathe. Type Amen to get blessing 1616. You begin to trace the symbols in your dreams, geometries that map energy, light, truth. Every night, visions intensify. She stands beside you in some, silent, bleeding, but never breaking. They start sending messengers. First, a woman with no eyes, whispering your birth date backwards. Then a child dressed in all white, handing you a torn piece of your own clothing. Finally, a man in your mirror, who wears your face. These are not hallucinations. They are threats, warnings, and invitations. You begin to sense when they arrive. The air stills, your skin tightens, and your shadow begins to lag behind you. These are signs of breach. They're searching for a new opening. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. The calendar flips to the 27th. This was their final deadline. You were never meant to see this date. Your breath is a defiance. Your heartbeat, a weapon. You light candles and surround yourself in salt, mirror shards, and the last page of her journal. You chant her name. Her real name. The one you now remember. She appears, not in body, but in essence. Her voice inside you, strong and soft. She says, they never expected you to awaken. Now you are the hunter. Archangel Michael says you were not saved by accident. You are part of a prophecy older than time. The enemy is scared, because their prey has risen with flame in their veins. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. Tonight, you enter the forbidden library beneath the city. Each step echoes down endless stone halls. Carved into the walls are symbols that match those burned into your skin. You find the final volume, a record of every soul marked for destruction in this century. Your name is highlighted in red ink, crossed through. Someone tried to erase your story. But beneath your name, a new line appears, ink still drying, rewritten by survivor's will. Now protected by the one who rebelled. You hear thunder again. But this time, it's not from a storm. It's from the convergence, the end of their plans, the start of yours. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. You emerge from the tunnels into daylight that doesn't blind you anymore. You walk freely now, but they still watch, still plot. Let them. Because you carry her message now. And it has become a blade. Every time you speak the truth, their world cracks a little more. Every time you refuse to give up, their shadows shrink. Every time you remember her smile, you draw strength from the one who first broke the code. The end of the month is here. You were supposed to be gone. Instead, you are more alive than ever. Archangel Michael says this is your season of resurrection. Not the kind sung in soft hymns, but the kind forged through fire, screams, and storms. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. And now, you leave this message behind for the next one. For the next soul who is marked, watched, followed, betrayed. You write it on your wall in glowing ink, survive. Speak. Strike. You tuck her pendant into the ground beneath the tree where she once stood. A signal. A torch. A reminder that love can be defiance, and defiance can become destiny. They will never smile at you the same way again. And this time, you'll smile back, not with fear, but with fire. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. But survival was only the beginning. As the final hours of the month draw near, you feel an unfamiliar energy blooming in your bones. It's not adrenaline or fear anymore, it's purpose. Something ancient has awakened in you. The streets look the same, yet everything around you responds differently. Dogs pause when you walk by. Streetlights flicker overhead in coded blinks. Even the birds seem to fly in quiet formation above you. People brush past you in public, but some, only some, glance at you twice. Their eyes widen as if they recognize a shift in the atmosphere. They don't know exactly what changed, but they know something did. You feel it too. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. Archangel Michael says when a soul escapes the timeline of death, it attracts the eyes of both light and darkness. You've escaped their schedule, and now the higher and lower realms have opened files on you. You've become something they didn't calculate. A wild variable. A ripple in their cruel still waters. And yet, with your survival comes responsibility. You are no longer the target. You are now the signal. Others will begin to find you. Others who were also marked for disappearance. In your inbox, an anonymous message appears at midnight. It reads, "I saw her smile at me too. 2 weeks ago. I barely made it out." Below that, coordinates. A gathering place. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. You arrive to find 8 others waiting. Different faces, different stories, but the same pain. All of them carry the same glow under their skin. Some have seen her smile. Some saw her die. Together, you realize, she was more than a messenger. She was a code breaker. Her smile wasn't a sign of doom. It was an activation. Her mission had been to find the chosen ones, those who would survive the planned erasure and rebuild something stronger. You weren't alone. You were the first of many. The others whisper tales of strange dreams, secret hunts, shadowy agents. And then, they all fall silent. Because behind you, she appears. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. She's not dead. Not entirely. She stands there in a liminal glow, not ghost, not fully flesh. Her smile is quieter now, sadder, but it holds relief. She speaks in a voice threaded with stars. You weren't supposed to live. But because you did, a door has opened. You must go through it now. All of you. The door appears behind her, tall, blackened, carved with unfamiliar runes. It's humming like a living thing. You don't hesitate. You walk through. On the other side is not another place, it's another reality. One where the war is already underway. Where the enemy knows your name and is preparing to erase entire cities instead of individuals. Type Amen to get blessing 2424. You are handed armor not made of metal, but memory. You are taught to fight with thought, voice, willpower. The woman trains you herself, for what she calls the reckoning month. What you survived was merely a rehearsal. What's coming will eclipse it tenfold. You meet others like you. Those who survived despite odds stacked against them. They bear different scars, but the same brand of fire in their eyes. There is no turning back now. No pretending this was a dream. You see the files. You see your photo. You see the plans they made for your burial. And beside it, the words. Failed. Target awakened. New threat classified. Archangel Michael says you are no longer just human. You are prophecy clothed in skin. Type Amen to get blessing 2525. Back in your own world, time passes, but you've changed permanently. You now see every person differently. You wonder how many are marked and don't know it. You become a protector, just like she was. Quietly guiding others. Smiling at those who need saving. One night, you pass someone on the street. Their energy is fractured, anxious, confused. You feel it. You recognize it. They're marked just like you once were. So you smile at them. Not with malice, but with power. With the intention she once gave you. With the same risk. With the same hope. And somewhere, deep beneath the veil, she smiles back. Because now you carry the message. And now, you are the one they'll never see coming. But some stories never truly end. Especially those written in the ink of rebellion and survival. Archangel Michael says when a person escapes a death that was foretold, the timeline fractures. The fracture does not only alter their destiny, it affects the entire dimension surrounding them. You have become a ripple through universes. Since your survival, the world has been adjusting. Slight glitches appear, people forgetting names they've known for years, buildings changing slightly overnight, news anchors mispronouncing cities as if new ones were stitched into the fabric of the map. These are the consequences of rewriting fate. You're walking between realities now, even if you can't always see the seams. What's more chilling? They can see you more clearly than ever before. Type Amen to get blessing 2626. New watchers have arrived. Not the ones who first marked you. These ones are older. More powerful. Less concerned with mercy. You feel them when you're alone, light bulbs flickering at the edge of their range, clock stalling for a few seconds, your phone battery draining without use. They observe silently, not to stop you yet, but to measure your threat level. The woman, she visits you again. Not in the flesh, but through a cracked reflection in the mirror at 3:03 a.m. Her voice is wind, her presence a cold drift over your shoulder. She warns you of the next phase. The replication protocol. That's when they start replacing marked survivors with artificial doubles, shells made to mimic your habits, emotions, even your memories. Their job is to erase your influence while wearing your skin. Type Amen to get blessing 2727. You start noticing subtle shifts in others. Friends repeating phrases word for word. Loved ones blinking slower than usual. Strangers knowing things about you they shouldn't. And then, one night, you see it. You're double. Same face. Same walk. Same voice. But no soul behind the eyes. You feel sick as you watch it enter a restaurant with your name written in the reservation log. It's living your life. You were never meant to survive this month, but now, you were also never meant to remain you. Archangel Michael says, a survivor must never stop becoming. To remain still is to let the imitation catch up. To evolve is to remain beyond their reach. Type Amen to get blessing 2828. So you disappear, not from existence, but from the systems. You delete your accounts, move cities, change your routine every third day. You go dark, as she once did. But as you travel, people begin approaching you again. Some give you fragments, notes, drawings, numbers, dreams. They say, I saw her. She told me to find you. You're not just the survivor anymore. You're becoming the central node of all the awakened. And they've noticed. The forces in control now call you something else, the catalyst. Your name is erased from the termination list, only to be placed in a new file, Class Omega Disruptor. You were once prey. Now you are the spark of revolution. Type Amen to get blessing 2929. They try again to stop you, this time not with death, but temptation. A woman arrives at your door. Not the one who smiled, but one just like her. Perfect. Familiar. Kind. She offers you a home, peace, quiet, answers. You almost believe it. Until her smile doesn't reach her eyes. You tell her, "I've seen what comes after silence." She responds, "Then you understand why we needed you gone." That night, your house burns. But you don't. Because you left hours before. You've learned. The fire isn't an ending. It's a symbol. You are reborn in it now, again and again, every time they try to erase you. Type Amen to get blessing 3030. You begin to write everything down: codes, names, locations, timelines. A new book begins, one page for each marked survivor. People call it many names: the Ash Ledger, the Book of the Unseen, the Flame Scroll. But you know what it truly is: her legacy. Because that woman who smiled at you yesterday didn't just carry a message. She planted a seed. And you, chosen one, you became the fire it needed to ignite the end of their system. And the beginning of something they never could control. A world where no one is erased again.